So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our today's exclusive webinar, which is jointly organized by Join in Campus, SKEMA Business School, and EPITA School of Computer Science and EPITA Graduate School of Engineering. So, as I rightly said, it's an exclusive webinar. So, we are not going to have any kind of presentations, but we will be having a discussion by our great panel of experts today. And before we proceed, I would like to introduce our panel of experts today. So let me just introduce to you our panel of experts. So these are our panel of experts for today. And we have Ms. Mathili from Campus France Paris, and she is head of Asia Unit, Marketing and Mobility Department. We have Ms. Vasudha from Campus France Hyderabad. She is Campus France Manager. We have Mr. Joachim from SKEMA Business School. He is from International Admissions, and he handles Southeast Asia Department. We have Ms. Dharini Joshi from SKEMA Business School, and she is responsible for India country. We have Mr. Rabi from EPITA Graduate School of Engineering. He is responsible for international programs. We have Mr. Chetnesh Mishra from Join in Campus, and of course you have me, myself, I am branch manager of Join in Campus. So we have a great panel of experts today from Campus France Paris, Campus France Hyderabad, SKEMA Business School, EPITA Graduate School of Engineering, and Join in Campus. Our today's topic of webinar will be France Initiative on International Education post COVID-19. And as I said again, we will be having a panel discussion. So let's proceed for our webinar today. And before we proceed, I would like to have opening remarks from our panelists. So I would request Ms. Mathili to please have opening remarks. Yes, Ms. Mathili.
Well, thank you so much. And again, I'm really very happy to be among you guys today. Why that? Because I think there's nothing like direct contact and dialogue, and we all have lots of questions about what's going to happen in the next few weeks. So let's share infos, questions. So this is it. So from my point of view, and from Campus France and the French government point of view, here is the situation. Of course, this crisis is just a first-time crisis, okay? It has affected the entire world. France is now okay, but we never know what can happen. And we know that India is facing a very severe and very difficult situation, and we think of you guys. But still, we are very keen and very enthusiastic about what's going to happen for the intake. I'm very confident that as far as India is concerned, France has lots of assets. And lots of, nice things are going to happen. Why that? Because France has organized lots of social aid activities to reassure all students as far as the intake is concerned. France, universities, specialized schools, business schools, they have all organized, and Joachim and Rabi will tell you more about this. So everyone has been very flexible, if you are not able to come in August, in September, in October, no matter India, Brazil, China, Taiwanese students, things will be very flexible. They will be flexible in terms of dates of intake. Joachim and Rabi will tell you more about this. and they are already flexible in terms of visa. We know that visa is one of your major questions. And you may know that both the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Internal Affairs, and this was quite never happened story, they issued a press release saying that they would give top priority to students in terms of visa. So when consulate will be open, when it's going to be open for international students will be the first one to get visa to come back to France. So this is also very important. And this shows a very strong message to international students. France is ready, is eager to welcome international students. As you may know, it is also a very strong concern for our government, which has started this Bienvenue en France, welcome to France, top priority for the French government. So it has many aspects. One of them is the visa. One of them is all the welcome environment. You may have heard that there is now a label that is given to French higher education institutions, as we want them to increase and to make it easier for international students to come to France in terms of housing, special desks, etc. So we take this very seriously. And again, I should not say so, but I think that it's not the right time to go to the US. Anyway, there's no way to go there. It's not very easy to go to the US. It's not very easy to go to UK. Australia is we can discuss, but I think it's the good time for France. Again, and then I'll give the floor to the other panelists. Again, one of the, to my opinion, really very, very important aspects of studying in France is the health system, free of charge. You have heard about the reputation of French doctors. This is a plus in the context that we all know. France has also taken social measures during the crisis. Like there were some food coupons for all international students, financial aid for all scholarship students, extension of visa. All students who were studying in France had their visa extended for 6 months. So the government is fully aware of, you know, the difficult situation for students, and still we want to help them. And this has been a different answers from other governments. And I think it's also one of the strong assets. Other important aspect, we haven't talked about this, is the online courses. From the beginning of the crisis, and it's still there, all universities, specialized institutions have started, some had already did that. They started to develop their online courses. So Campus France has gathered all the online courses from all French higher education institutions, and it's now on the website. So it's kind of, you know, easy to start in India and then join your course whenever it's going to be possible, because we know, let's also talk about that, we know that it's not going to be easy tomorrow. Okay, there are no planes. It's not easy right now, but it's a matter of a few weeks. So these were my introduction. So the message is we want you, and we are waiting for you, and we will do our best to help you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now I would request Ms. Vasudha to please have her opening remarks.
At the outset, I'm very thankful for joining campus, SKEMA and EPITA for giving me this opportunity to say a few words that we share we would really want to share. As Mathil has said, we have put in quite a lot of measures to make sure that the international students, that is the students who are thinking about France as their education destination in these troubled times, to make it a really good experience for them without fear, without the hassles, or hassle-free as we can say, and then a really good experience to go ahead and have it. With a lot of initiatives that we will talk, all of us will talk. Mathil has covered almost all of them, but when we come to specific questions, we would be more than happy to answer it. Uh, as we would all want to say, France, Bia, when you're France, is the logo, is the motto. Please come, please explore, and this is the time to make sure that you have a world-class experience.
Thank you, Ms. Vasudha. I would request Mr. Joachim to please have opening remarks.
Yes, so thank you very much first for the invitation. It's a great pleasure for SKEMA Business School to be part of this webinar today. Thanks to all the panelists from Campus France Paris, Mathilde, Vasudha from Campus France Hyderabad, Rabi, my colleague Darini, who is in Mumbai also. So on behalf of SKEMA, what I can say, I think Mathilde and Vasudha have summarized very well all the topic that we will cover today. We are optimistic, and I think during this period we have two choices: either we give up, either we dare to dream. We choose the second option. We think that the students should not give up their plan, because a bright future is waiting ahead. The situation has been complicated all over the world. It's still complicated in a lot of countries, like in India. Thankfully, in France, from the past week, it's going better. Still, we have to fight against this virus, but we are really confident. And we are confident about welcoming Indian students, as always. SKEMA has been a strong partner of India on that. We are welcoming every year hundreds and hundreds of Indian students, and we are confident to welcome them in September, whether they start on campus, but as Mathilde told you during the introduction, we'll be also ready to start with them online till they are able to arrive. So we'll discuss about these topics later on during this session.
Thank you, Mr. Joachim. I would request Mr. Rabi to have opening remarks, please.
Okay, so thank you again for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to meet our partners, because to me, we have this type of, let's say, ties between India. So we consider that we are all concerned about this, let's say, crisis that has attacked us. I have to say, at least here at EPITA, we have managed to transform many of those negatives during this crisis into strong points, okay, since the 16th of March. But if you want, my simple introduction is that to EPITA, nothing has been changed. All dates are maintained. The plan of the academic year as if we don't have any crisis. So even more, during the last semester, we have doubled our effort in terms of job dating, speed dating for students. Students are going to their internship as scheduled earlier. They're gonna start their internship in August and September. So everything is going fine. And I'm always very optimistic for the next year. And I hope that India will get out of this very soon, as we have done here in France in the last couple of months. I would like to confirm what Madame Malé has mentioned about what the government has done here in France to international students, because we, in the academic school, I mean, at EPITA, we have felt this measures. Okay, I can confirm to you that we have many students have benefited out of the measures that have been done by the government, whether regarding the vouchers for meals or the simplification of the procedure to apply for the visa or to renew the visa, etc. And also, I would like to say that Campus France has been very reactive in producing this platform for the hybrid program that's gonna be online in September. So now you can consult this portal online. We have more than 611 training program available in a hybrid mode starting September. Okay, so all of these facts, they are really promising to have a smooth, let's say, and back to normal, back to school period the next September. Thank you.
Please.
Avni, can you repeat?
Yes, I would request Ms. Darini to have opening remarks, please.
So good evening, all of you, and it's wonderful to be a part of this initiative by Join in Campus France. I would not like to go much in detail because I think Joachim, my colleague from SKEMA, covered most of the points. So I really look forward to start this the panel discussion and answer the questions for our audience. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Darini, and I would request Mr. Mishra to please have his opening remarks.
All right, so thank you all panelists and associates. I would like to say that we all are optimistic, and to have this webinar is because it's our responsibility to update our associates that what is happening right now in France. And it's always good to have these words from Campus France India, Campus France Paris, as well as direct representatives from the schools. So thank you for joining, and now we should start our session.
I think Ms. Mathili, maybe she has left because of some connectivity issues. So maybe Ms. Vasudha, she can answer her questions. So,
Okay.
yes. So maybe I will just ask her questions to Ms. Vasudha. Okay. So my first question is for Ms. Vasudha. That is, how is the situation in France post lockdown?
Post-lockdown, after the 1st of July, when France has announced that everything is coming back to normal, we are very optimistic that by September intake, that is in another 2 months, we'll have everything in place. Firstly, the courses, the intake, everything is in place, no need to worry. To accommodate international students coming from various other countries, not only India, but various other countries. Few of the schools have also put in quite a lot of effort and has put back the entry dates to accommodate them. If for any reason the student cannot reach, things have been postponed a bit by few of the schools. Few of them are maintaining for people who have October intake and such things, nothing has changed. People with August or September intake, the schools, that is what I'm talking, the institutions with August or September intake, they have made it their priority to accommodate international students, and they have postponed them a bit. The applications are still open. They have made it a thing to say that during these very difficult times, they have kept the applications open. So even students who are now thinking, who have started thinking about France as a destination, have a chance to look at it. Thirdly, from the point of view of the COVID situation, the medical situation, each and every school that we know of has taken quite a lot of effort to put in all the measures that is required, whether it is the alcohol gel everywhere, whether the compulsory mask and social distancing, etc. So to accommodate a class where there would be around 20 to 30 students, maybe quite a lot of them have come up and said that they're going to do it in shifts. Even if a student is in France, what they have done is few of the days they have divided the classes into batches. Few of them will come to the classroom on few days, and few of them will sit at home and access the lectures. In the same way, the next batch would do so. Social distancing is maintained. Yes, France is nearly coming out of the whole situation, but they are taking all precautions to make sure the life, the whole situation is contained and life goes on as normally as we can.
I would also like to add the next question for you, Ms. Vasudha. Like, what is the visa situation for campus runs in India now?
Avani, if I can say France, when we heard by end of June that France is opening up, every student started calling us. Everyone was like, I mean, we used to get our mailboxes filled, our phones on continuous ringing mode, asking when is the visa office opening up. This is a €1,000,000 question. It is not about France, but it is about our own situation. In India, the number of COVID cases are spiking. People are not ready to leave their homes. It is very difficult, and the international flights have not resumed yet. So we are waiting for India, the Indian government to come up with an official announcement when they are going to resume the international flights. I think, and it is very logical to say that once that is announced, the visa offices and the VFS will take a decision and they'll open the offices. But in the meantime, to make sure that the situation is under control, we know September is a big intake. There are many, as I was telling you, partly the interviews are conducted, that part is ready. The NOCs we are preparing, keeping them ready. It is only the physical checking of the documents and issuance of the NOC, which we will make sure to do it in a smooth and efficient way, as efficiently as possible. We won't delay anybody. We are trying our best to make sure that the student who has paid, who has taken the trouble to look at France, who has paid the fees, who has got an admission, is not in any kind of trouble.
Thank you so much. Okay, so my next question is for Mr. Joachim. How is school preparing arrival of international students, and how will they be assisted?
Yes, thank you, Avani. So to answer the question, two points and two different points. The first point is we are still accepting application for fall intake. So to your partner and the student connected to this webinar, you can still apply for fall intake. The next deadline is 15th of July, and we'll extend it for some few weeks more. The second point regarding the student who have already registered with us, so who are ready to join us for fall intake, how we will welcome them. So for the one who will be able to get the visa, of course, they will be able to join physically the campus. As of now, we are not sure about the date when the VFS and the Campus France full activity will restart. So as of now, what I can tell you is that we are ready to welcome the student whenever they can arrive. Okay, what does it mean? It means that the official start date of the classes at SKEMA will be on 14th of September. If a student is not able to join on 14th of September, this is not an issue at all. You will be able to start the classes online and to join later on whenever you can. It means whether you arrive in October or in November, that's not an issue at SKEMA Business School level, because we are preparing everything to give the possibility to the student to follow the start of their classes online. So that will not be an issue at all on our side. How we are handling the preparation, because we are aware of the difficulty that students will face, that some of them are afraid in this situation. So first of all, they have 2 points of contact with me based in Paris and with my colleague Darini in Mumbai. So whether you are in contact with Darini and I, we are fully supporting the partner and student in all the procedure till they arrive in France. In addition to that, so at SKEMA, we have a team dedicated to help the student for the housing. We have a team dedicated to help the student for the visa renewal. So all these teams are prepared also for the late arrival of the student. So they will organize in the upcoming weeks some webinars to inform the student about the situation. Some call will be done with the program director to explain how the classes are gonna be. We are speaking about a flexible hybrid intake for this September. It means this will be a mix between physical classes, online classes, and we are fully ready for that. I think right now the new generation is very open to the new way of teaching online, and we have done it successfully, and Darini will come back to that later on, but we have done it successfully in all our campuses worldwide. So we have no issue about that. My words to the student and partner is don't be afraid. Everything is ready on our side to welcome you without lack of quality. Again, that's very important because I'm speaking with a lot of students this day, and they are afraid that online classes might be not as good as class, like physically on classes and all. That will not be at all our cases. We are committing about that. We will offer the same quality of education to the student. Hopefully, we hope that by September, the situation will be resolved. As Mathilde and Vasuda underlined, that's only a question of weeks. Some countries have reopened the VFS center. We are in close discussion as Alice Guillon, the Dean of SKEMA, is also the president of the CSG Grande École chapter in France. She's in close discussion with the ministry and all. She's very confident and optimistic about like the opening in the upcoming week. And so we hope that all the situation will be resolved, but in the worst case, we have some solution.
Thank you, Jokin. So my next question is for Mr. Rabi. So we would like to know how EPITA is preparing arrival of international students, and also can you please share experience of students who are presently studying in your school during this pandemic?
Okay, so before I mention how are you preparing for September, I would like just to have a couple of words on the last semester, or the current semester that you are in now. At the international programs at EPITA, starting the 16th of March, all of our classes has been transformed to online and remote instruction. Okay, so from day one, which means that students today they did not even miss a single session of what was supposed to be in the program during the lockdown that has started in France last March. Out of, if you want, after 4 months of online teaching and remote instruction, we have gained too much experience to enhance the methodology of the online classes as well, because at the beginning in March, what we have done just that professors were connecting online with the teacher. They were sharing their class notes, a presentation, whatever, and they were speaking for 2 hours or 2 hours and a half to explain about the course or subject, the chapter, or whatever. After that, we have worked on the methodology and we have reduced all of our sessions from 3 hours to 2 hours. Okay, and we have limited the number of to have just one-way direction with the students to only 30 minutes by the professors. And we have added many other elements in the session in a way that we have some inverted class in the session. We have professors participating in one part. We have a video, we have a game, we have an ice-breaking activity so that students will not lose concentration over this period of 2 hours, because when we have launched our survey 1 month after, we have noticed that sometimes when they have this problem, they lose interest. They are, as you know, international students, they don't live in 150 meters square in France. They are in their room, 10 or 12 meters square. They are locked down in their room, so they need to have this interaction. So we have worked a lot on that. And what we're going to open in September, it will be based on the experience that we have gained during this semester. On the top of that, we have added many challenges online, because remember, at the end, we are an engineering school in computer science and computer engineering. So we are in the heart of this domain. And students, when they're going to go after for internships or when they're going to work after, they're gonna have this even without Corona or COVID-19. Because when you are an IT school, you will be working out of Paris. You have your development team in Bangalore. You have your quality team in Romania. You're going to have your support in South Africa. So it is the case already. So now we benefited a lot from this situation to enhance more our means and our, let's say, aided means so that students can have more relevant activities, academic activities. And we benefit from that to launch many challenges, whether in security, in Python, in data science, in artificial intelligence. And we managed to, I can say 90% to achieve our goals at the end of this semester. Students are very happy to have this experience. And at the end, they had the chance to say, okay, for such type of classes, I prefer it even online, even if you are back to campus. So that's why we are considering even next semester in September for a couple of classes that they were face-to-face, we're gonna do them online because they were more, if you want, more efficient for students to have them in this, let's say, teaching means. So this is based on the experience that we had before. Now for next intake or for the cohort that's gonna start in September, our dates, let me start by the application date. Mainly, the deadline to apply for EPITA is the 31st of July. This is in normal cases. This year, we are adding another 15 days till mid of August. So 2 weeks supplementary for the application. As you know, our admission procedures, they are completely automated and they're gonna take only 10 working days to be processed. So we consider that even if you receive an application on the 15th of August, then admission and results can be announced by the end of August. So there is no problem in terms of timing. Now for the starting date, we always ask our students to arrive between the 21st and the 25th of September for a simple reason, because we, as mentioned by Madame Mallet, there is a label that has been announced by Campus France and the government, the Bienvenue en France. And we are lucky at EPITA to have this label with a 3 stars, so which is the highest level for this label. So we mainly, when we ask the students to come in September, is to finalize all of those administrative procedures related to their stay in France. I mean, you have the accommodation thing, you have the visa, the OFI, the social security, the bank account, the train, the inscription for the train pass, etc. So we try to finalize everything between the 25th and September and the 6th of October. So because our strategy is that students, when they're gonna go or they're gonna start their academic program, they should not care about those administrative things. So we try to finalize them before they start their academic year. So this is what we're gonna try to do, which means that our dates are still there as normal. Okay, and mainly what we start after on the 6th of October, we do 2 weeks of intensive French, because as you know, we have our own French language center that is also labelized by the government with the highest star for all the criteria. So we start mainly by 2 weeks of French, which means that they're gonna have 24 hours the first week and 24 hours the second week, because as you know, the students, they need to at least survive the first couple of weeks. They need to go to the bakery to buy some bread. They need to go to a supermarket. They need to go to a metro station. They need those words in order to start integration with the French and especially the Parisian life. So that's why we do this intensive classes. So to us, we are starting our campus in hybrid mode from day one. All our classrooms are equipped with the cameras and the sound system to do this. So which means that students are going to start the French classes online. So let's say the travels are permitted or not, you are enrolled at EPITA, you are in Bangalore or in Delhi or whatever, you can assist or you can be in our French classes the first couple of weeks. Okay, our hybrid mode gonna last till the end of the semester. So we are able to keep this mode till February. So this should not be a problem or a blocking point for the students coming from India to enter to this program. Now, from the psychological point of view, because here always we have two things. We have technically how things gonna go, and you have the psychological part, because I can imagine today, if you are in lockdown, we have lived this lockdown before, so we can imagine what does it mean, especially in March and in May, when we have a very bad numbers in France and mortality rate has been like crazy, etc. So we were really stressed by everything. We have kids, etc. So it was not I have to say a simple exercise, but we have learned a lot from this exercise. So the psychological effect today that I'm an Indian student sitting in my place, I don't have the right to go outside. Do you think that I'm comfortable enough to pay 6,000 euros today to come and study at EPITA or at SKEMA or at whatever? For sure not. So what we have done is that we have reduced our first payment from 6,000 euros to 1,000, okay, which we call the prepayment or pre-confirmation or whatever. So students today, they can just pay 1,000 euros just to reserve their place, because as you know, and we have this social distancing, we need to accommodate for that, we need to calculate that, we need to provision that as well. So we need to know the number of students who are coming in September to make sure that we have everything as proper as requested by the French government. So we have reduced this amount to 1,000 euros, where students just can pay this 1,000 euros to reserve their place. And in case for a certain reason they were not able to join in September, they can push their intake till March very easily without any problem. And also for a student who would like to get the reimbursement of this amount, also can be done for free without any obligation. So this is one of the things that we have put in place. Second thing is that we have launched a new payment system online that allows students today to pay from their home as well. So there is no need to go to the bank. Okay, if you are locked in your house, okay, there is no need to go to the bank to do this transfer or wire transfer, because anyway, it will not be an international transfer, it will be a local transfer, because this system allows the Indian student to pay in Indian rupees to National Bank, State Bank of India. So there is no need to do this wire transfer, okay? Or you can pay by credit card if you want. So, paying 1,000 euros by credit card today, it's doable 100% without any problem. So this also will gonna encourage students not to go out and to wait for their banks or whatever. And then soon they're gonna settle the difference once they are able to come on campus, and I mean, they got the visa, they got the travel, and they will be able to join us on campus in September. And by the way, we are announcing that at the end of October, we are organizing our integration week. Mainly we do it in September. So this time it will be end of October, with all the students who might be arriving at that time. So I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi. So my next question is for Ms. Dharini. What will be the benefits of studying abroad for the upcoming batch? What do you think, like, what will be the benefits?
Hi, Avni. Good question. I believe there is always an opportunity in adversity. So what I see since COVID has happened, and the way we all have handled the situation, be it Campus France or French Embassy, or our students who have equally been supportive to us, let's just say that they haven't given up on their dreams of pursuing studies abroad. What I feel culturally, because I have also lived in that journey and I have been raised in India. So what I see is that the companies in France are going to get active very soon, and there would be a need of a lot of internship and job opportunities, because due to COVID, the backlog of work is so much that there would be more opportunities, of course, for each and every international candidate who would be moving abroad or moving to France for their further studies. So that's my opinion. Apart from that, of course, studying abroad changes a lot of your perspective, your personality, because you are all by yourself, you are away from your family, you learn to make great decisions of your life by yourself. It just changes your personality overall. And due to COVID, what I think a good learning lesson all of us have understood now, and what the students will learn probably in the classroom during the discussion, is the concept of crisis management, the global crisis management, which they have experienced live in their life. So that would be a very healthy discussion for them to understand and go on a leadership position also in the future. how each and every country has managed to get over with this crisis, for the past 6-7 months, since COVID was announced. So a lot of leadership qualities is something, team building and leadership qualities is something what students would be learning. So I think there is a lot to come for students, learning from learning point of view, from personality point of view, to be patient in such kind of situation, and to wait also. So that's all about now learning abroad with how things would be post COVID.
Thank you, Dari. So my next question is for Mr. Joachim. Yes, my next question is for Mr. Joachim, and it's what if a student wants to arrive after the start of the classes due to border issues?
Yes, thank you, Avani. So, yeah, if a student want to arrive later on, so I was telling you at SKEMA the start date of the classes will be on 14th of September. So we have already fixed all the starting date, and you can find all the information on our website. We'll be conducting also introduction webinar starting end of August, like orientation days. So several sessions for all the students till the time they are able to arrive. In the worst case, because we are speaking about a worst case situation, if the student is not able to reach the campus before 14th of September, which I hope that will not be the case. But if it's like this, what will be there for the student? He will be able to start the classes fully online, okay, till he arrive on campus. So whether he arrive, let's say, last week of September, first week of October, beginning of November, we will give the student the opportunity to follow the classes fully online. I think all the business school, the high business school in France have been prepared for the past month for that. We have, as Rabi explained very well, we have all work on that since day one of the lockdown. In France, it was at the end of February, beginning of March. So we are ready. Our students have faced this. We have some very good testimonial about our student. Today, I published on LinkedIn a new testimonial from a student currently studying at SKEMA, and she was speaking about her experience during the past year in France and how SKEMA has successfully conducted the shift to online classes. You have some newspaper who had also underlined it, and the Hindu has released an article with an interview of our academic dean, Patrice Soudaye, speaking about how we were able to shift online. So we are not worried at all about that. We are very confident. In my opinion, the student will be able to arrive before 14th of September. Normally, at SKEMA, the start date used to be first week of September. We have postponed of 2 weeks. It's a choice by the college not to postpone of a month. I know that some other institutes have postponed of a month. We are confident that before 14th of September, the situation will be back to the normal. Finger crossed. And yeah, that's it. So we will be there for them. They will not be alone. That again, I want to come back to this point. They have the point of contact of the school representative, where whatever the institute they are choosing. They have the campus friends offices, and they are doing an amazing jobs. And I know what I'm speaking about because I'm in charge of the full Asian region, the Southeast Asia region, and I can tell you that the campus friends officer are for me the best, so they are helping a lot the student. The school representative will help. Our staff at college will help also because we have accommodation team. We are the professor who are preparing that. I have the student office. My colleague from student office are already preparing the time schedule and all for the student. So everything will be there for the student for perfect intake. In the worst case, that will start a little online for a few weeks. And after that, they will reach France and enjoy the French experience, because what we don't want is a full online experience. We don't believe that students are looking for full online experience. They want to experience France. They want to live in France. they want to party in France, to make friend in France, maybe boyfriend, girlfriend in France, like, so that's the full package of study in France, the cultural experience that we will offer, and we are confident about that.
Thank you. Thank you. So my next question is for Mr. Ravi, and I would also like to know for EPITA, for those students who received admission for fall 2020 intake, will the classes be online or on campus, or it will be hybrid classes?
Yeah, so I mentioned this earlier. Yeah, we're gonna have hybrid mode from day one. So the whole semester, whether students they are able to come or not, we have taken the decision to run all of our classes starting September online and on campus. So there is no exception for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank
are you
you.
going to split classes, Rabi?
Say again, please.
Can you say, can you say in details, are you going to split classes like for 1 week, these class students will come and for the other week, other students will come?
Actually, this is possible, but the decision will be taken based on the numbers. Okay, so that's why I was telling that students, who would like to join in September, they should confirm their enrollment by paying this 1,000 euros to have those numbers in our hand. Because if you don't have the number, I cannot expect how things is gonna look. We have this possibility, no problem. Okay, so there is no issue in that. But all depends on the number of students who will be arriving in September. Having mentioned this, I have to say that in terms of candidates and admissions, we have a growth of 20% with respect to the last year, which is really very surprising to us. However, the conversion today between admission and enrollment students is a bit weak because of this psychological effect that I mentioned earlier. So we need to, it's a black box for us. We need to wait and see how things are gonna look in the next couple of weeks. And knowing that, as you know, at EPITA, we have 50% of our students are from India. So your numbers can really have a better decision making in our in our plan. So I cannot tell you now how things are gonna look like.
Good.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is for Mr. Mishra. Like, as you are part of many international communities in France and you have a good network of experts, how are you dealing with the COVID situation now? How are they dealing with COVID situation now?
All right. So see, I'm in good touch with many of my friends who say that they are in office now. So that means that now I have a sense that they are back to their normal life. I have a detailed discussion with many people that, okay, here everything is normal. We have also been to the cafe. Most of you are from France, all the panelists, so you must be knowing that the coastal areas are open, pool, gym, cinemas, museums. This is the feedback from everybody that yes, now we are back to normal, but we have to take care. So there are some rules and regulations that if you are in the restaurant, you have to have 1 meters of distance between 2 tables. So these are kind of small changes that are required. Otherwise, everything is fine. And Matthew, if I'm not wrong, said that now people are planning summer holidays as well. That means it is normal. Yeah, but yes, not in Europe or maybe in other countries, but yes, at least for the moment in France. So at least in France, things are getting normal. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So my next question is for Ms. Vasudha. How does France plan to overcome the barriers caused by COVID-19 in terms of increasing number of international students?
Now, Avani, when you talk about the international students, there's a lot of population here in India is now thinking about France. Given the various political situations that are arising in various popular destinations for students from India, this is one good opportunity to look at, because France has always stood with India, whether it is education, whether it is defense, whether it is bilateral relations, everything, France has held our hands. And this is the point where we need to look at France as an opportunity for higher education destination and go ahead. Firstly, as we have talked all through this discussion, there have been lots of initiatives that have been put by the French government, the individual schools, institutions in France, to make sure that whatever has been promised before is adhered to. There is no looking back. We are making sure that things go as smoothly as possible and go ahead. Now, the next thing is from talking from the campus France point of view, what I would like to assure our audience at this stage is, please start the process of looking at your dream. If it is studying abroad, obviously here I am talking about France. Yes, please go ahead and start the first step. Why? Because by some misfortune, if you're not able to land in France because of the situation here in India or something, we are making uh, your dream good by keeping it alive for 1 year. What does that mean? That the file that they will get the admission, institutions are ready to give them online courses for some time, see how it goes, and then take it to the next level, even if they're not able to reach France. That is one step. The second thing is, if by some if they by their own choice they want to defer it, like I've had 2 or 3 cases now where they have created the file, but then they came back to me and said, ma'am, we don't want to take any chance, we would want to defer it to January intake or next September. Even then, start the process. We will finish everything. You can create your file, we'll take your interview. The payment that they make to Campus France is also valid for 1 year now. So there is no way that we'll let your dreams go bad. We are making sure that we hold your hands from home country to the host country and make sure that you have everything in place. Third, we don't know the situation, how it will evolve. It is ever evolving and dynamic. So again, to make sure that students are not in confusion, we are asking them to start everything, keep everything ready. Once the situation eases, we are ready to help them out in any which way that is possible for us to do.
So Vasudha, I have a question now that when there is a process that one student finish campus France and then they have a next process for the embassy, is there any change now that like you are saying, prepare everything and then once embassy starts, you should go. Is there any change in between in time in terms of process or time of the process?
Process remains the same. They will have to create the Campus France application. They will have to attend the interview. We are going to issue the NOC. We are looking at various things to various aspects in which we can minimize the time taken. That is also the reason that I'm saying that finish the interview part of it. This whole process before the new normal started was like on one day that they would come to Campus France, get on with their interviews, get their documents checked. We would issue the NOC and they would go to VFS. Now, virtually we are done with one part, that is conducting the interviews, because we are taking interviews as usual, sitting at our places, sitting in the safety of their homes. We are finishing it. The file is being validated. It is ready. It is, in the on the platform. The only thing is about checking the documents. That I'm assuring you, each one of us, each Campus France manager, whether it is me or the rest of them, are all working in a way, as I told you before, that we are even preparing the NOCs and keeping it ready to make sure that the students, whenever they would be able to come to our office, we will not take them 5 to 10 minutes to check their documents, issue the NOC, and they can take an appointment on the same day with the VFS, so they don't have to travel much, finish everything, and then they are ready. But as we know, for all these, the Indian government must allow the international flights. The Indian local government must allow us to open our shops. Yes.
If I may add something, Avani, to what Vasudha just said, I think there is kind of a paradoxal situation there, because despite the crisis, we have all taken very exceptional measures, like flexible measures. You've heard from Joachim and from Rabbi, the exceptional measures, the flexibility in terms of calendar and also in terms of finance. So this is very exceptional. Like Vasudha said, all Campus France offices will be dedicated. They will hold your files. Also for the because we have very close links with the consulate services. They will be really at your services, talking to students. So there is a paradoxal situation. Of course, the crisis is there. Of course, you may be a bit not daring enough. You may be a bit conservative, but on the contrary, it's the good timing. It's the right time to dare. It's the right time to go, because measures are taken. Everybody will be helping you like mad, more than normal, more than the usual situation. Plus, and I think this is also very important, what Darini just said. If I'm someone who wants to employ a student, someone who has a nice story to tell, during COVID, I was hesitating, I wanted to stay home because I felt I was safer, blah, blah. But still I left because I wanted to experience, the crisis, and I learned a lot about what happened, and I learned a lot about myself. And of course, there were obstacles, but still I managed. This is kind of a nice story to tell an employer. So I think that there are lots of, you can take lots of cases now, of boxes now. So it's the right time to go, in my opinion.
Also, if I may add, there have been, I can quote 2 testimonials here. Students who had a chance to come back during COVID back to India. Quite a lot of them stayed back. They said they were confined when it was at peak in France to a room. They were there, but they dared to stay back. And now these two, a girl and a boy, both of them have landed into their internships also. They've got their internships, they're doing those internships, and they're very happy that they stayed back. There were lots of students who came back, now are gearing to go back to France too. So dream big and dare. This I think
I'd like just to add to this. I confirm to you that I have more than 20 students who have started the internships at home. Can you imagine this? They have never seen the employer. They have never seen the team. That the companies have sent them a laptop, the company computer at home, and they are working from home till this day. So life is normal. We are living as if nothing is happening. So yes, you should, as mentioned by Madame Meli, you should dare, because time cannot be compensated after. You should go, and we are here to help you.
Really, that's great to hear. So yes. Okay, so my last question is for Ms. Mathli. And yes, so what is the future for international students in France post-lockdown? I think, of course, you have answered, but yes, if anything you would like to add.
Well, again, and I think this question has been answered by other panelists, but there is a momentum. There is a very special moment right now, and it's a special moment for France. We at Campus France and the French Ministry of Education and Foreign Affairs, we are always talking about, okay, where is France ranking? All international students want to go to the US, see what is my ranking this year, the Shanghai ranking, blah, blah, blah. We are all completely obsessed with those questions. Of course, it's normal because this is going to drive the strategy of the government and then the budget, you know, and we will know what kind of budget we will get after that. But to my opinion, and it is also what Mrs. Kayat, the Director General of Campus France, says, there is a momentum for France. We know that this year will be a good year. We know that again, and despite and thanks to this paradoxical situation, it's going to be a different situation, and we are going to be surprised by what's going to happen. And I'm quite confident that within a few weeks and within a few months, we will go like, okay, we had these talks, we didn't know what was going to happen, but see, there is a happy ending above us.
So thank you. And now I would like to open up the floor for questions from our attendees. So yes, please come forward and please ask your questions. You can either write your questions in the chat box, or maybe you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Avani, I see a question written. What will be the refund policy for tuition fee if students start online classes for September intake and this visa may be rejected in October end or November? So I can answer this question on behalf of SKEMA. So on our side, the refund policy has always be the same and will remain the same. In case of visa rejection, the school will refund the full amount. Whatever the student has paid, whether it's the deposit or a bigger amount, will refund everything. Taking that into account, you have also another point to tell to the student is that they have also the option in case of visa rejection to report their arrival for another intake. Yeah? So many institutes will offer several intakes during the year. At SKEMA, we offer 2 intakes, one in September, one in January. So a student who got a rejection in October might report to January. So that will be possible. So you have to give both options to the student because sometimes visa got rejected for academic reason. Maybe the student is not good enough to study in the institute, but sometimes it can be some misunderstanding or some missing documents and all. So it's always good to give a second try.
I would also like Mr. Ravi to answer this question as well.
Actually, it's the same. So the same policy. We reimburse 100%, or you shift your to the next intake. We have 2 intakes per year in February and in September. So exactly the same policy.
Okay, thank you. We have another question, and that's I don't think like if the student is doing online studies, will he be eligible for post-study visa? No, definitely. Who will be answering?
How many hours of minimum on-campus education is required to get post-study work permit? I'm not sure I've got the question.
So if the question if will the student get stay back even if he study online? So first, I want to tell that we don't believe that it will be a year online. What we are speaking is a situation where they start few weeks online because we are very, very confident about the borders opening. EU has already opened the border for 15 countries and the world for 15 countries, and it will open in few weeks for Indian students. But there is no concern about the stay back, because what you need to stay back in France is the degree and to spend the time in France, which is, I think, maybe Mathilde, you have the answer. I think it's 10 to 12 months. But that will be the cases for all the students, even if they start online.
Yeah, that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next question is kind of related to this. yes, online courses will be taken into consideration, and as Joachim says, the students will have to go to France, right? Will go to France for sure. It might take around 3 months max, but then things are getting back to normal in many countries, and we should also be doing that. So once they go back, these online courses plus their time in France will be taken into account, and there shouldn't be any problem about the post study stay back options and things like that.
Exactly, because also the platform that have been published by Campus France about the hybrid, mainly all the, I mean, for the first semester online and the second semester on campus. So,
I think there is one more question for Joachim
Joachim.
here. In SKEMA, few courses are available only for September intake. What happens if they are unable to join this intake?
Yes, so yes, we have very few courses because we have more than 20 specialization, and most of them are open in September and January,
Okay.
UGPG. But in the case that the program is not available in January, like let's say Master in Management is only open in September, the student can report to the next year.
Okay.
Joachim, I think there's one more question for you from Mr. Varun. He says, Joachim, how will SKEMA support my accommodation once arrive in France?
Yes, so for the accommodation, you have the housing team, housing at schema.edu.
EDU.
So all the students who are registered normally will get a mail from the accommodation team. So we are working, we have campuses in Lille, Paris, and Sofia. So we have our own student residency in Sofia Antipolis, but which can't accommodate so many students. And we are at SKEMA, we have more than 40% of international students among 8,000 students per year. So it's a big number of international students who are joining, and more than 1,000 every year. So we have a lot of tie-up with a residency provider, flat provider. I can speak about StudiApart, Spot at Home, and you have many other providers. So the housing team is fully in charge to help you for that. And I think, Vasudha, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this year the French authority are a bit more flexible for the accommodation part. I see on the list that they are requesting to show proof of 8 days.
7 days.
7 days. Oh, it's even better. So
Thank
before it used to
you,
be
Vasudha. I think it's a great news.
before it used to be 3 months, but we
Yeah.
always advise the student to secure a proper accommodation, because even if the proof need to be shown for 7 days, it's better to land in France with already a contract signed. But we have
Yes.
plenty of offer. We have also a lot of senior students who are currently studying at SKEMA who will put offer to the current student. And when you arrive in France, you can even shift with some other classmates and all.
So we have one more question, like,
Only before that question, I have a question for
yeah.
Vasudha. Can you give more details about these 7 days, if it is possible? Because I think it's for everybody. They want to understand.
7 accommodation. I mean, it's been, I think, from this the starting of this year, we have come to this process of showing proof of 7 days. The 7 days could be in a hotel. The 7 days could be in Airbnb. 7 days could be in a permanent residence that you are going to stay for a period of 1 year, whatever. We are not worried about any of these things, but once what we are requesting now is, when you land in France, you should have a roof on top of your head for you to go sleep the day and then go start your journey with a clear head. That's about it. So 7 days is all we are asking. Somebody has asked me one, I think that question, I think I can take about apostillization. Yeah, that would again be my again, we all know that apostillization will take a longer period. Now, none of the secretariats or the government agencies are open. There are no offices that are doing it. But excuse me, if the apostillization is needed only for the birth certificate. Birth certificate is not required either for visa or for you to travel or anything. So what could happen is whenever it opens up, go give your birth certificate for apostillization, get it apostilled. These days it takes just 3 days to get it apostilled. It is quite easy, right? Whenever everything is open, go get it apostille, give it to the Alliance Francaise people. Again, you're not giving your original birth certificate. It is a copy of it for translation. That could be then scanned and sent to you at a later stage by one of your family members, and it will work, right? So it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, I'll take this question. Probably how many hours a day online and time duration in India, like very late evening? We are limiting to maximum 5 hours per day at EPITA online, and the last session gonna finish at around 4:30 p.m. Paris time. Okay, so it would be around in the summer. I mean, in the winter, it would be around I don't know, 7:30 or 8.
8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah.
8, yeah. And there's another question: what is the minimum time it will take to refund tuition fees if the visa is being rejected? To me, I have two answers here. If the student has paid using this new method, Flywire, it will take 1 week to be refunded. If they have done a normal wire transfer to our bank in France, it will take at least 6 weeks.
Okay, just so Darini, I'll let you answer the question for the refund.
Yeah, I think the question came from Mr. Suman Pathak, and like I have already shared my answer with him in private, but so the refund would be initiated once you send us the rejection letter and the student file number with your bank details, like that's the proof. And once we have the documents, we'll forward it to our finance team, and they will initiate it within 15 to 20 working days, and the money would be transferred. The day they transfer the money, they will validate it, they will email you the transaction details, and I think within 3 days it would be reflected back in the student account.
For just to come back to the point of the time schedule of the classes and all, as of now, we don't have yet the full planning. The student office team is still working on that. Normally, the information will get released before the end of the month on your student portal if you are registered with us. We are taking, of course, into consideration the area where you are living to organize the classes and all. So don't worry about this part. I see a question regarding the hard copy of the guarantee document. Is it mandatory? Yes, it's still mandatory. If you are not able to send it, we are flexible. Again, the word for this intake is flexibility from the school. So if you are not able to send it for any reason, that's not a very important, that's not the most important thing. Right now, you should focus, as Vasuda has underlined, you should focus on the Campus France process if you already register and fill the application on Campus France portal online, take the appointment with the Campus France manager. That's the priority at the moment. If you are already registered, you should focus only on that as of now.
If I can also add at this stage, this is an opportunity, as all our panelists have always maintained, this is an opportunity to be explored and taken full advantage of. To various consultants who are listening to me, this is a unique selling point that you could go ahead and give it to students. If they are taking online courses from India, see it as an opportunity that they are kind of benefiting of not spending on living expenses for those 3 months. If they are taking online courses, the parents, I've heard lots of parents coming back and saying that we're not very happy and things like that, but this is an opportunity for the student to go back to the lectures as many times as they want, because it is recorded, it is shared with the students. So it is one of the better situations. Initially, to integrate, it takes some time for the student to adjust. Now getting to the classes immediately online is something that is really good, and this should be promoted as one of the best opportunities. And also I would want to say that we are thinking about virtual pre-departure session this time. The dates are yet to be announced, but then what we are trying to do is we are trying to take the regions of France, and each one of us is going to dedicate an hour plus for that region. We are going to tell you from where to go, how to go, what are the things that you can think about in that region, which are the schools, which are the heritage sites, the culture, everything. So this time there's no need for you to come to Campus France for you to get to know more about France. We are getting it on the platform and we are doing it virtually.
Okay, so I think we should now have the closing remarks from all the panelists. So quickly we will have the closing remarks, and so I would request Ms. Natalie to please have closing remarks.
I see a blue hand. Maybe there's one question again.
Yes. So can you please type your question in the chat box? I think there is already one question for Ms. Vasudha in chat box. Yes.
I think there's one question for me. Any prior appointment to book my Campus France interview? What ground the interview will be followed? As I've been telling you, once a student creates his file, we'll have to check it. If everything is okay, we are calling them and asking them, when can I schedule your interview? I have been doing this for now 60, 70 students already, and I'll continue to do that. I know there are many students who are working, many students who are taking classes and things like that. That's the reason that we call them, ask their preference, and then schedule the interview. The interview that I'm conducting for students from my region is through Skype. There are many other managers who are very tech savvy, unlike me, and who are happy with other platforms. Whatever is the platform, we share our handle or the the link for you guys to connect, and we are taking the interview. So without checking on a prior basis, we're not scheduling any interview. We'll do that for you in the future also, till the time we go back to our offices.
So Vasudha, the next question is for you only.
Yes.
Any changes in funding prerequisites as we are differing from schedule and students arrive? Okay. Another thing that we all have when we look at the Campus France checklist is initially before the new normal, we always used to say that 50% fee had to be paid to the institutions for you to come to Campus France and get your NOC and things. We have relaxed because most of the schools themselves are not asking 50% fees at this stage. They have relaxed, so we have also taken this into account, and then we are advising the consulates to relax. We are not very strict about 50% tuition fee to be deposited. Whatever is the tuition fee that is to be deposited to get your confirmation, admission confirmation, is what you'll pay and come to us. That's okay.
Fine. So I think questions will go on. So we are running out of time. So maybe, of course, we can answer the questions. I'm so sorry for the questions which are not answered. But yes, you can stay in touch with your Partner Relations Manager of Join in Campus. We will be more than happy to answer all your questions. Again, I am sorry for the unanswered questions. And yes, we will quickly now have closing remarks from all our panelists. And I would request Ms. Mathili to please have her closing remarks.
No, questions are good. So questions are good. That means there is interest, and this will be my closing remark. I think the buzzword of this seminar, and again, thank you very much to SKEMA, to EPITA, and to Join in Campus to have invited me. The most important words was flexibility and be daring. So come on, we'll be here. Bienvenue en France. This will be my closing remark. Welcome to France.
Thank you so much. I request Ms. Vasudha to please have her closing remarks.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to tell as many things that we have, the initiatives that we have put in place to help the students. We are always here, we have always been here, and we are here to help you. Please make sure that you start the process, and we'll hold and then send it. Make sure that your journey is a good one and you have a great experience there in France.
Thank you, Ms. Vasudha. I request Mr. Joachim to please have his closing remarks.
Yes, so thank you very much. Thanks to Join in Campus team, Chetney, Shavani, and all the team behind the scene. I know you are a good number of people from joining, helping for the promotion of France. Thanks to the Campus France officer, Mathilde and Vasudha, because you are a huge help for us as an institute to promote our program to the international student wherever they are in the world. And also thanks to Rabi for it's always nice to have another view. You have the business school view, and now in this webinar you had also the engineering view. You have also a lot of other opportunities in France, like whether you are choosing hospitality classes or humanities. France is offering a wide scope of program. The French institutes are very well ranked, whether we are speaking about the Shanghai ranking, FT ranking, QS ranking, we are all there, and I invite you to check all the ranking. Again, don't give up about your plan, dare to dream. We spoke, this word came very often during our webinar, flexibility, dream, ambition. So don't give up your plan. We are ready to welcome you. Campus France director Beatrice Kayat has made several videos that you can watch on the social network with institute representative in France. They are waiting for you. The French government is doing a lot of things for Indian students for the past 10 years, and the tie-up are gonna grow, and talents will be needed, and we are looking for you in our campus in the upcoming months.
Thank you, Joachim. I would ask Mr. Ravi to please have his closing remarks.
Yeah, I would not like to add many things, as you mentioned. Thank you for this opportunity today, and to have this space to share our ideas and to motivate our new comers for next September. I have to say I missed India this year, sorry. So hopefully that next year we'll be back to our classical visit in the cities to meet physically with the prospects and candidates. We are ready. We are just waiting for you next September. And since mentioned by Joachim, I would like also to mention that at EPITA we have created a new master program for this September. So we benefit from COVID as well, because when you are not traveling, you can have some quality time. So I have created a new program. It is artificial intelligence for marketing strategy. It's a new master program that is a joint program between EPITA and EM Normandie, okay, another business school in France. And I hope we're going to have a new program probably with the SKEMA in the future. Why not? Okay. Then hope to see you all, I mean, your students next September, and hope that India will get out of the lockdown very soon, especially in Chennai and in Mumbai.
Okay, thank you, Ravi. I would ask Ms. Dharini to please have her closing remarks.
Thank you, Avni. It's a wonderful initiative, like Joachim said, very supportive with joining campus. It was nice to see Vasudha and Mathil also being on panel from Campus France and being the force leaders to, give awareness. I would just like to say that to everyone present and listening to us, that don't listen to rumors. If you have any doubts, please feel free to write to us directly, and we will give you the right set of answers. And welcome to France, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you, Dharini. And I would ask Mr. Mishra to please have his closing remarks.
Yeah, so thank you, panelists, and thanks, Dharini. This is what our associates actually look for, this kind of spirit, that yes, you are motivated and you love to answer questions. Now, see, as this is our responsibility that to promote France, we do a lot of activities. We did many workshops, we did farm trips, we did many conferences. But at this situation, it's webinar now, right? Because we want them to know what is happening right now. And I think this is a great opportunity that I would like to thank all the panelists, and I would like to say our associates that your good number of questions have been answered as well, and be in touch with our team. At last, like our president said, the word choose France. So please choose France. Thank you.
So, thank you. Thank you all the panelists, and thank you all the attendees. We had a very great discussion today because we had a very great panel, and I would thank all the panelists from the bottom of my heart. And yes, choose France. We are all there to support you. All the schools are there, Campus France are there. So please choose France, and please go for the fall intake. So yes, thank you once again, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Avni, for arranging everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Avani.
Avni.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Merci, thank you. See you in
Merci.
France. Bye
Bonjour, au
bye.
revoir.
Merci beaucoup. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mathilde.